I want you to tell people what BOI is, why it was a big deal, and why there's where are we now today?
With the new presidency, I don't see it going anywhere. But if it does happen, whoever didn't file will just file. But there's no reason to file now because they're not penalizing anybody if you don't file.
SBA loan is not forgivable. That's what we hear from their website. Second is it's something that you must pay back. And that we talked about last time, hey, there is a way you might get away with this. With the current incoming administration coming in and the Biden administration going out, there is a lot of things, these are standstill.
What I think this thing's going to be, it's not going to be like 100% forgiveness. You're going to have to do like a settlement.
Let's just start with the BOI. First of all, I want you to tell people what BOI is, why it was a big deal, and why there's where are we now today?
Okay, so I think it was a couple months ago when I was on the show, I mentioned that BOI was probably going to get tied up in a court order, which it just happened. So right now, you don't need to file it. What was it for? It's basically the states know who owns these companies, but the federal government does not. So it was actually to bring light to that. And it was also for, either like the Crimes Act or stuff like that, to see where the money's coming from and how much foreign investment. Right now, what's going on is it's tied up. You don't have to file. People who already filed, well, you did it already. Do I think what's going to happen with the court case? I mean, with the new presidency, I don't see it going anywhere. But if it does happen, whoever didn't file will just file. But there's no reason to file now because they're not penalizing anybody if you don't file.
Okay, so there's nothing to worry about this. I heard serious things where
the $500 a day late, right?
The $10,000 fine, one-time fine, $500 per day if you don't file within the deadlines, and I think that was set like what December 31st, and then 2 years of jail, and it just continues until you don't do it. So nobody has to worry about anything anymore.
No.
Okay.
That's exactly what I said like 3 months ago.
And then when you and I were talking, you mentioned that with the incoming administration coming in, there is not much to worry about. Why so?
I mean, it's real simple. The president has a lot of different companies still. And look, if we have to basically tell everybody who owns these businesses, well, we know this administration is not going to want to do so. Not to mention, this is not just one court case. There are multiple.
So, I mean,
right now the Treasury's trying to appeal it. Do I think it's going to go anywhere? No. And obviously, you guys all saw Trump's new pick for IRS.
Yes.
So, I just don't see it being.
Who did it pick, by the way?
I forgot the guy's name. He basically wanted to abolish the IRS.
Okay, so it's not Powell anymore, or he's still there. Jay Powell, I'm talking about.
No, this is for IRS, not for Treasury.
Oh, not the Treasury Secretary. This is IRS. And I also know that he's firing Lina Khan, who's the FTC chairman.
Yeah, I read something.
Right. So she was after many companies, and I do think she was doing a good job because she's talking about the Amazon house. It's taking advantage of many things. Google needs to be broken down and all these things. So deregulations, basically, it comes down to.
Yeah.
So since the deregulation, BOI will most likely become irrelevant.
Exactly. Right. They wanted it to be a every year kind of thing. Because the feds don't know what's going on and only the states know it on the state level. That's really what it is. It's just transparency.
Right. But so next,
I don't see it happening.
Next item, and everybody, since we talked about last time about this one, was SBA loan forgiveness. I want to clarify a few things. One thing is SBA loan is not forgivable. That's what we hear from their website. Second is it's something that you must pay back. And that we talked about last time, hey, there is a way you might get away with this.
That's correct.
And within the legal boundaries.
It is legal. It's actually if you read the 300 pages, when you guys originally got those SBA loans, it's been in there for 2 years.
Right.
Okay? It's not like hardship. Hardship, actually, there's a procedure in place. What I've been working with those two companies I mentioned last time, right, that really spent the money and they just didn't, the restaurants,
it didn't
pile paperwork, writing proposals, everything else. Look, the people I spoke to in the SBA, look, they want to do this kind of stuff for the right people, but the problem comes down to is there's no real procedure, and they're all, with the new administration, people don't know where things are going to go.
Right. So what you're saying that
It exists. In that paperwork, it exists.
No, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. It does exist, and I'm sure within the legal boundary it work out for some people. So what you're essentially saying, hey, if you are the right company, if you fall into the right criteria, you may qualify. Is this what you're saying?
Yes, but what's going on with the whole new administration and the whole shakeups, everyone's very afraid to do anything.
Currently.
Right. So I think that's what's also causing this standstill of where we're going to go.
Okay, so if I want to break it down to everybody who's listening, SBA loan forgiveness may happen, can happen, will happen, yes, most likely yes, but with the current incoming administration coming in and the Biden administration going out, there is a lot of things, these are standstill.
Yes, and also what also is happening is they tried to sell the EIDL loans off to private companies.
Yeah.
And they realized they're going to lose 30%.
Who's going to lose 30%?
U.S. government.
Okay.
So then all kind of, yeah, of course.
That's going to be somewhere in trillions.
Yes.
All right, so that was
So that's another thing that's going on. There's just so many things happening at one time.
Right.
So right now I'm at a standstill with this. I have not, since we last spoke, I haven't got anywhere because of this.
So we'll talk about this when you get some update, and then hopefully we get some good updates and we get some process in place. Do you think it's going to?
I think it's going to end up being what I think this thing's going to be. It's not going to be like 100% forgiveness. You're going to have to do like a settlement.
Right. Tell me, kind of thing.
Like say I owe $100,000. I say, listen, I only spent this on this and this. I'll give you $20,000.
Right. It's not going to be 100%. It's not going to be 50%. Let me go.
It's not PPP.
Okay, perfect.
নিউ ইয়র্ক থেকে সম্প্রচারিত TVN 24 টেলিভিশন বিশ্বজুড়ে বাঙালির কণ্ঠস্বর।